Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you all are enjoying your Sunday evening. We have some stunning news out of Robert F. Kennedy's campaign. Keep in mind, he's polling at second place, really far behind Joe Biden, but he's still running a pretty decent campaign considering he's considered a political outsider. I mean, most of the people in power on the Democratic side are not in support of him at all. And I would say that his poll numbers are pretty good for somebody who's just literally a complete outsider in terms of the Democratic political establishment. And this guy just completely destroyed his campaign in like 30 seconds. And I want to talk about it because I just couldn't believe he said that. So NBC News is the one who broke the story. And now it's basically everywhere. RFK Jr. basically said that he would sign a federal ban on abortions, after 3 months of pregnancy. So if we go further and read the article, says here, long shot Democratic presidential candidate and conspiracy theorist Robert F. Kennedy. Oh boy, NBC News is making it very clear who they support for president. Biden, right? I mean, geez, calling this guy long shot Democratic presidential candidate conspiracy theorist. Anyway, they're saying Robert F. Kennedy said Sunday that he would support a national ban on abortion after the first 3 months of pregnancy if he is elected. Then they've got a direct quote from him. I believe a decision to abort a child should be up to the woman during the first 3 months of life. Kennedy said in an interview at the Iowa State Fair, pressed about whether that meant signing a federal ban at 15 or 21 weeks, he said yes. Once a child is viable outside the womb, I think then the state has an interest in protecting the child, he said, adding, I'm for medical freedom. Individuals are able to make their own choices. Now, I think Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is making a huge mistake here. I think he forgot which side of the aisle he's running on. Sir, you are not running as a Republican. If you were running as a Republican, then you're more than free to say that. As a matter of fact, I would encourage you to say that. But clearly, he forgot that he's running as a Democrat. And for those who don't know, Democrats staunchly oppose any sort of talk regarding support of abortion or anything against a woman's right to choose. And I just can't believe he said that because that pretty much just ended his campaign right there. So much so that Robert F. Kennedy actually ended up walking his comments back. Let me go ahead and pull up this tweet right here. Because like I said, I don't think this was his campaign. I think this was just straight up him. His campaign was probably losing their minds when they saw the headlines and saw that he said that. They're like, holy cow. They're like pulling their hair out. They're like, we got to hurry up and get a statement out immediately. So here's the statement right here. Robert F. Kennedy's campaign immediately issued a clarification, which basically says that he did not mean to give the answer that he gave. Let's go ahead and read what it says right here. It says right here, today, Mr. Kennedy misunderstood a question posed to him by an NBC reporter in a crowded, noisy exhibit hall at the Iowa State Fair. Mr. Kennedy's position on abortion is that it is always the woman's right to choose. He does not support legislation banning abortion. I mean, shout out to his campaign for coming out and making an immediate correction to what he said. However, unfortunately, this still hurts his campaign because obviously we know that most of the mainstream media is completely biased against Robert F. Kennedy, which I'll be honest with you guys, I really hate that it's like that. I really can't stand the fact that besides like Fox News and like, I guess like Newsmax or whatever, all the other mainstream media outlets are just overly biased towards whoever the Democratic establishment picks. I think that's a pretty terrible system to be in where, you know, 10 of the 11 mainstream media outlets support one person and one party, which is basically what you see. MSNBC, Biden, CNN, Biden, I don't know, whatever other news outlets, ABC News, CBS, it's all Biden. It's pretty crazy, but they are going to hammer Robert F. Kennedy to the very end on this. Like, that's all they're going to do. Even though he already came out and clarified it, trust me, they're still going to use it. Trust me, the Democrats are still going to say this stuff because that's the one thing that will really piss Democrats off. And you know what's funny? We actually just recently saw this. Let me actually go ahead and pull this up right here. So the other reason why this is such bad timing is because these remarks from Robert F. Kennedy come just days after voters in Ohio. Remember, Ohio is a state that Trump won. This comes days after the voters in Ohio, which Trump won, rejected a ballot measure that would have made it harder for the state's voters to enshrine abortion rights in the state constitution in November. And remember, they rejected that ballot measure. So, this just doesn't really look good for Robert F. Kennedy. I just, for the love of me, can't understand why he would say that. I mean, I understand that they're saying, oh, it was noisy, he misheard it. To be honest with you, I really think that his campaign is just kind of covering for him. I think his campaign immediately saw the backlash and they're like, okay, we got to go ahead and release a statement and we got to walk this back because this is not going to bode well for his campaign. But to be honest with you guys, first of all, I just want to make it clear. I like Robert F. Kennedy, okay? But I think that Robert F. Kennedy did not misplace or misuse his words or whatever. I think the campaign is just trying to save his ass by clarifying his position. But I don't think that, regardless of how you heard the question, he still said that he pretty much supports abortion, up to the first 3 months. So, I mean, regardless of how you could have heard the question, you still said it. And so even though you walked it back, the Democrats and mainstream media is still going to use those specific comments against you. Let me actually go back to the article so I can read his specific comments. He said, I believe a decision to abort a child should be up to the women during the first 3 months of life. I'm sorry, I said that backwards. It's the other way around. He believes that a woman should be able to abort a baby during the first 3 months, but after that they can't. There's a lot of women out there, and especially Democrats, who don't support that at all. And then he got pressed about whether that meant signing a federal ban at 15 or 21 weeks. So basically at 15 or 21 weeks, abortion would basically be banned. He said yes. I don't know, man. I don't know how you're going to get out of that one. I really don't. And so, I'm just telling it like it is. And then the other crazy part about this is, Robert F. Kennedy called himself pro-choice and he spoke in favor, of legal abortion during a town hall in New Hampshire back in June of 2023. I was just reading about that. And then on top of that, if you just look at a survey from this month, which, like I said, this couldn't have come at a worse time because he was polling a little bit higher. He was polling at 19%. Now, if you look at the recent survey that just came out this month, the survey found that in a hypothetical Democratic primary race, 64% of people would select Biden, while only 13% would support Robert F. Kennedy. And then you have another 10% who are undecided. And then you have another 10% who would basically vote for Marianne Williamson. I can tell you right now, I wouldn't really be shocked if after these comments, Marianne Williamson kind of shot up a little bit in the polls, because I'm telling you, those comments by him are going to piss a lot of women off. So, yeah, I really think this guy just kind of screwed his campaign over doing that. I mean, abortion is one of the main big issues on the Democratic side that will energize voters and get them out to vote. We literally just saw this happen in Ohio. We had way more voter turnout in Ohio for that ballot measure than Republicans originally thought. And Republicans took an L in Ohio, and I think that abortion is definitely going to be a huge political issue that will shape how the 2024 presidential election goes and elections going forward. Democrats do not play when it comes to abortion. And these women who support that, especially black women, because, black women vote Democrat 98%, they're going to vote. They're going to be energized and they're going to come out and vote. And yeah, this just really hurts Robert F. Kennedy's campaign. It really sucks to see because I like the guy. I actually do like Robert F. Kennedy, but he just really shot himself in the foot and basically what I consider to be committing political suicide by going against. I just think he forgot that he's running as a Democrat. I don't know what he is. I think he's a Democrat. Maybe he's a Republican in disguise. I don't know. Maybe he's just a middle of the road guy. Some things he's a Republican. Some things he sides with the Democrats. Nothing wrong with that. But it's just like, dude, you got to know, what party you're running for. You can't forget that you're running as a Democrat, and you can't dare support an issue that 98% of the party that you're basically running with basically opposes, So anyway, that's my video for today. Hopefully you guys got something out of this. Jesus, Robert, Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.